Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Let's get started. Today we will talk about data levels. Okay. So data level measurements. These are there are four different data measurements. One is nominal data measurement, ordinal data measurement, interval data measurements, and ratio data measurements. So these are the four different measurement levels are defined as the four fundamental levels of measurements scales that are used to capture data in the form of surveys and questionnaire, each being a multiple choice question. Okay. Now, uh, this is just a summary of these different measurements. Nominal scale is a naming scale where variables are simply named or labeled. We will discuss in detail in the coming lectures. Ordinal scales has all its variable in specific order. Interval scales upper levels orders as well as specific intervals, and ratio scales bears all the characteristics of an interval scales. Okay, so we will have a detailed discussion of all these different data levels. Okay, the first one is nominal scale. So what is nominal scale? Sorry. Nominal scale, also called the categorical variable scale, is defined as a scale used for labeling variables into distinct classification and doesn't involve a quantitative value order. Now, we will discuss examples, and then you will understand what is a naming scale. Now, for example, let's say we ask a question, where do you live? And the answers may be, let's say, suburbs, city, and town, and we label that this suburbs will be 1 and city will be represented by 2 and town will be represented by 3. So these labels are called nominal scale. This is 1, 2, 3, but we can't apply any mathematical operations on these 1, 2, 3 because these are just representations of some names. So mathematical operations can't be applied on these labels. Okay. There are cases, now again here, there are cases where this scale is used for the purpose of classification. The numbers associated with the variable of this scale are only tags for categorization or division. Calculations done on these numbers will be futile. So it means that we can't apply any quantitative operations. Okay. We can't apply any mathematical operations on these levels. Okay, so this is further explanation of this nominal scale. Nominal scale is often used in research, survey, and questionnaire where only variable levels label hold significance. Now, for instance, customer survey asking which brand of smartphones do you prefer, and options are Apple, Samsung, and OnePlus. And Apple is represented by 1, Samsung is represented by 2, and OnePlus is represented by 3. So these are numerical labeling of some variables. Okay, the simple explanation is that we use numerical values, but these numerical values are just labels, and these represent some numbers. We can't apply any mathematical operations on these numbers. Okay, this is further explanation of these nominal scales. There are two primary ways in which nominal scale data can be collected: by asking open-ended question. This is I had discussed what is open-ended question and what is closed-ended question in my previous lectures. So we can have these labelings for responses of such type of questions. Okay, we come to the second level, and the second level is ordinal scale. Okay, so what is ordinal scale? Ordinal scale is defined as a variable measurement scale used to simply depict the order of variables and not the difference between each of the variable. Now, what is order of the variable? So I think it will be easy to understand this through an example. We will go to an example and then we can come back here. Now, ordinal scale actually shows the level of a variable. For example, we say, how satisfied are you with our services? And we say that very satisfied, unsatisfied, neutral, satisfied, and very satisfied. So very unsatisfied is represented by -1, unsatisfied is represented by -2, neutral is represented by -3, and satisfied, sorry, these are not minus, sorry, these are levels. Very unsatisfied, I'm very sorry. Very unsatisfied is represented by 1, satisfied is represented by 2, neutral is represented by 3, satisfied is represented by 4, and very satisfied is represented by 5. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are levels of satisfaction. Okay. So let's say there is a survey, and the survey is trying to find the satisfaction level of customers. So in a survey, we can give these questions, and these questions can be represented by these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now we can now apply some quantitative operations on these levels, but the summary is that such type of variable representation is called ordinal scale. Okay. So the users can give their feedback in the form of these values, and then these values can be represented through these numerical values. Okay, now we go back. So ordinal scale is defined as a variable measurement scale used to simply depict the order of variables and not the difference between each of the variables. Okay, these scales are generally used to depict non-mathematical ideas such as frequency, satisfaction, happiness, or degree of pain, etc. For example, if you say that I feel pain, I feel too much pain, I feel less pain, I feel no pain. So these are the different levels. Okay. Ordinal scale maintain descriptional qualities along with an intrinsic order, but is void of an origin of scale, and thus the distance between variables can't be calculated. Okay. So we cannot calculate the difference between unsatisfied and very satisfied. We can't calculate this difference because sometimes for every respondent, these levels, um uh, for example, when I say satisfied, so the satisfaction level will be different for different respondent. So we can't calculate the difference between the satisfied level and the neutral level. We can't say that this is 1, although this is 3 and this is 4, but this will be different for different respondents. Okay, so we can't uh, 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 compute the difference between these levels. Okay. Okay, this is again the same explanation. And now we come to the interval scale. What is interval scale? An interval scale can be defined as a quantitative measurement scales where variables have an order. The difference between two variables is equal and the presence of 0 is arbitrary. Okay, it can be used to measure variables that exist along a common scale and equal interval. Okay, now what, again we will go to an example. Let's say, okay, interval example. Okay, these are ratio example. I think we don't have. Interval examples, I have missed these, but the interval example is the different interval. For example, we say that in temperature, let's say the temperature is 37 degrees Celsius and 38 degrees Celsius, and we say that today temperature is 1 degree higher than yesterday's temperature. So these are interval scales, okay, in which the important aspect is the difference between the two values. These are called interval scales, okay. Okay, so interval scale is defined as a numerical scale where the order of we already discussed this. Okay, and all the techniques applicable to nominal and ordinal data analysis are applicable to interval data. Apart from those techniques, there are a few analysis methods such as descriptive statistics, correlation, regression analysis, which is extensively used for analyzing interval data. Okay. Now we come to the ratio scale. And what is a ratio scale? So a ratio scale refers to the level of measurements in which the attributes composing variables are measured on a specific numerical score or values. Here, the value is not a single value, rather it is a range value. Okay, for example, please, let's say we ask this question, please select which age bracket do you fall in. Okay, below 20 years, 21 to 30 years, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, and 50 and above. So these are range values. There is no one specific value, but these are range values. And such type of labeling is called ratio scales, in which the response is a range of between two values. Okay, so ratio scales, there is another question, what is your daughter's current height? And the response is, let's say, less than 5 feet. 5 feet 1 inch to 5 feet 5 inch. Let's say we respond that her height falls in this value, okay, or her height falls in this value. So these are the scale ratios. Okay, what is your weight in kilogram? And let's say the response is either this one, or this one. So these are ratio scales. Thank you.